We're live.
Can we heckle you then?
All right, we're live. Yes, please heckle me because that'll make my whole day complete.
I'll be right back.
Host, we're set here.
I'll be right back.
All right. Hey, my name is Gwen Hernandez. If you haven't heard that yet already, you're not at the right conference. Probably want to check out somewhere else. So let me give you a little bit of different background about myself that doesn't deal just with me, with animal rescue. My bachelor's degree is from Utah State. It's in psychology. I wanted to go on and become a clinical psychologist when I grew up. I'd still like to do that when I grow up, but then we start having kids and dogs and life, and so we didn't wind up with quite the career path I thought I was going to. I went on and worked on getting my master's degree in health science. I got all of the classes done. I got all of my testing done. And then I had the worst time getting my thesis done. It was horrendous. Got pregnant with that child that's doing tech. And I said, to heck with this. Started working as a substance abuse counselor. And I was like, oh, hell no, I do not want to do this. Pay sucked. I made more money as a CNA, so I went back and worked as a CNA. I've worked in healthcare for 26 years, and then I got divorced. And all of a sudden I needed to make real money. I went back to school, got my RN 13 or 14 years ago. Went through school, got my RN. I've worked home health, hospice, mother baby, cancer institute. What else? Med surge, and I currently work in a GI clinic and still work home health. If anyone's heard me walking around today saying, no, I'm not on call today, I am normally the on-call nurse. And I told them I needed a day off, and they keep calling me. So I am uniquely qualified to talk about compassion fatigue from many angles. Working as a hospice nurse, I have worked with all of the families who have been trying to care for their family members, and they get caregiver compassion fatigue. I've worked with people with babies who are like, I love my child so much, but please take them. And I've worked in animal rescue where I have on more than one occasion experienced compassion fatigue because it's an inevitable part of this life. So that's me. Let's head on to the next slide, please, Michael.
Yes, ma'am.
Today we are going to talk about this is a kind of our overview, good health and wellness, compassion fatigue versus stress and burnout, how to manage compassion fatigue, and challenges as an animal caregiver, strategies to promote wellness, and some resources. So we want, next slide. I'd like to make a disclaimer right now. I borrowed a large chunk of this from a slideshow that was fabulous. They told me I could use it, and I kind of rebranded it to what I needed. Our ultimate goal is to create healthy caregivers, to have them master the art of resiliency, return quickly to high-functioning behaviors after enduring the on-the-job training or trauma day after day. In animal welfare, how many of you guys work in shelters? Any of you? Okay, you guys get nailed. That's just all I can say for it. Hats off to you guys because I see it from the other end. Oh my gosh, I can't get this dog out of there. I'm trying so hard to get people placed and moved so they're not going to be euthanized. I deal with I can't leave my house because I can't leave my dog here because I'm being abused, but I can't leave. I actually have a dog right now that I pulled and took just so she could get out of the house. She wouldn't leave till she saved her dog, which thank God, nice dog, we'll be able to place him once we get him over the malnutrition that he had suffered while he was there. Little tiny 4-month-old puppy, Mastiff Great Dane cross. Sweeter than heck, but he's got knuckling, and we're working him through that. He's actually doing much better. So there's a little bit about my background. Why healthy caregiving? Why do we want to be healthy caregivers? Michael, next slide, please. Life is not merely to be alive, but it is to be well. I really like that because it's something that I have to remember all the time. Yeah, I can live day to day and I can do things, but I want to be well. I want to be functional. I want to be able to do things. And you can't buy love, of course, but you can rescue it. And I rescue it all the time. And it gives me such a good high when I've worked hard and I've done something and I get that adrenaline rush. Runner's high has nothing on saving another life.
Just like puppy's breath.
What?
Said you also like puppy's breath.
Puppy breath is my favorite. It's like a freaking aphrodisiac. I'm like, Aubrey won't let me take a bath. The puppies want to take right now. And I'm like, oh. She's like, someone will take him. I'm like, I know, but puppy. All right, next slide. Aubrey is the other person in Snarf who keeps me from being a hoarder. Truthfully. Next slide. All right, so there's seven forms of human wellness. We have physical, emotional, spiritual, social, intellectual, environmental, and occupational. This is really important to keep in mind that the human body has these different facets, and we need to treat all of them, and we need to take care of the whole person, or else we're not going to be happy, we're not going to be well. If we're lacking in some area, then we are not going to be the happiest person that we can be. And our goal right now, you got to remember this when you're creating your self-care plan. Spiritual does not mean going to church every Sunday necessarily. Maybe some people like that. Maybe it works for others. Spiritual, being at peace with the universe. And everybody has their own version of what the universe is. Physical, right now I'm working on losing weight, trying to get there, we'll see. Going on a walk every day. Emotional, are you sad? Are you cluttered? Is your brain just dragging through life? Some days I see myself going through the actions and I leave for work at 7 in the morning. I get home at 9 o'clock at night some days. Thank God for my children who go let my dogs out. And I say, I am so sorry I was not here all day. I rescued this, I microchipped that, I vaccinated that. I'm like, let's check in with ourselves and see what we need help with. Emotional's a lot. Social, do you guys have friends outside of rescue? Anyone here have a friend outside of rescue?
I suck them in my
Yeah, okay, suck them in. Anyone else have a friend outside of rescue? Excellent.
She lives in Canada.
All right, well, you know what?
I never see her.
I was talking to Aubrey the other day. She's expecting a child yesterday. And I said to her, she said, I went out to lunch with so-and-so. I said, oh, who's that? And she goes, well, there's someone I met at a childbirth class. I'm like, oh yeah, you're into the kid friend group. Okay. All my kids are grown. He's my oldest. My friends are rescue, or I have nurses. And nurses are the worst at compassion fatigue. Environmental, intellectual. Are you doing something to stimulate your brain every day? Crossword, a puzzle, reading an article, looking at something new. It doesn't have to be outside of the realm of rescue. Did you read something about how to train a dog? Did you read something about how to do early spay neuter or vaccination or something, but stimulating your brain? Environmental, please do not come to my house. That's somewhere I'm sorely lacking. But, we still get along. I have several dogs, and my backyard could use to be redone. But, yeah, we're there. It's clean. CPS would not steal my children. But it's not where I want it to be. And occupational, are you happy with your job? Anyone in here happy with their job? Woohoo! Yes! I am coming to terms with my job. I'd like to be in something else, but it's coming. I'm doing good. So what is compassion fatigue?
I've redefined job.
Yeah. Well, my rescue is not my job. My job is what pays for my rescue. Next slide.
Don't have one of those.
What is compassion fatigue? Compassion fatigue is a state experienced by those helping people or animals in distress. It is an extreme state of tension and preoccupation with the suffering of those being helped to the degree that it can create a secondary traumatic stress for the helper. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but I spend a lot of time on Facebook looking at dogs that have due-out dates. Mm-hmm. They're going to be put to sleep tomorrow, the next day, the day after, if I don't do something to step in and help them. You don't do something if somebody doesn't find somewhere. Mm-hmm. The last 3 weeks, I haven't looked at my Facebook page. I told Aubrey if she needs something pulled, she's going to have to let me know. I don't have time in my brain to handle it right now. I've got the conference, I've got other things. Fortunately, she's watching that, but at the same time, I still get messages, hey, this dog's due out the 18th. Well, thank God we got it out by the 18th, you know. Is this normal or abnormal? What's abnormal? We have an expectation that we can emerge in the poop or the manure and come out smelling like roses. That's not the case. Every single one of us is going to come out with a little poop on us. And it's how we deal with that, and that we're realistic about the fact that what we experience in our life is normal. This is normal. It's okay for me to feel overwhelmed sometimes. It's okay for me to cry when I found out that a dog was euthanized that I could have pulled. Sorry, here I am bawling in front of all of you. I remember driving down the road one day, and a shelter that I've been watching, I'm gonna cry now. A shelter I've been watching for a dog that I told him I'd pull if they needed it, posted that she had just gotten her wings and crossed the Rainbow Bridge. Driving down the road, and I burst out into tears. I'm like, fuck, I could have saved that dog. So, it's normal. Sorry you got me bawling now. I try not to bawl a lot, but it was something I could have done something about. It kicked my butt for a couple days. But that's normal. It's normal, it's how we deal with it. So, next slide, please. What are the symptoms? Some of the symptoms: isolation, emotional outbursts. Anyone seen an emotional outburst here? Sadness.
You're kind of heckling yourself.
Oh, yeah, I know. Apathy. I still remember, I was like, gosh, dang it, I could have taken that dog if they'd called.
We've all been there.
I know, we all have. An impulse to rescue anyone in need. Some of us do it, some of us don't. We try our best. Substance abuse. 2 Diet Cokes, caffeine is my substance I abuse. Fortunately, my family has a history of alcoholism that I am very much aware of, and I stay away from that at all costs. I don't touch any of that stuff because that's where I could go. But me, my caffeine, substance abuse addiction doesn't necessarily mean that you're addicted to methamphetamines. Mm-hmm. I love to shop. So I'll spend hours shopping. I'm addicted to planning trips. When I really need a release, I'll plan a trip. I may not go on that trip, but I do it. Hypervigilance, hyperarousal. This is not my hyper-aroused state. It just looks like this is just how I go. Reoccurring nightmares or flashbacks. I am grateful I don't have nightmares. Ever. I don't remember my dreams. It's a good thing. That's a good thing for me. But a lot of people get nightmares, and it's really hard. Excessive complaints about colleagues, management, or those being helped. We all kind of bitch and moan and whine, but when it starts getting to us and affecting our daily lives, that's when we need to be careful. Persistent physical ailments. That is a big one. People don't realize there's a connection. Michael, next slide, please.
Zero PTSD.
So I keep smacking it like that.
No PTSD.
Yep, it is. All right, so here are physical ailments. Society has not woken up fully to the frequency with which people unconsciously think themselves ill. Psychosomatic disorders are physical symptoms that mask emotional distress. There are many people whose sadness is so overwhelming that they cannot bear to feel it. In its place, they develop physical disabilities when words are not available. Our bodies sometimes speak for us. You got to remember too, it's not just like your brain is screwed and you're causing yourself to be sick. You release cortisol, you release a lot of adrenaline, different hormones, and it makes you sick. It can make you sick. Ulcers, intestinal disorders, other problems like that can be caused by compassion fatigue. Next slide, please. Compassion fatigue isn't something that just all of a sudden hits. You rescue your first dog and all of a sudden you've got compassion fatigue. I mean, it could, but it's something that develops over time. It takes weeks, sometimes years to surface. Over time, your ability to feel or care for others becomes hard to read, eroded through overuse of your skills and compassion. You also might experience emotional blunting, lessening of your usual high levels of compassion and empathy. Here's the thing though, there's a stage between I am so compassionate, I want to save everybody, and you wind up with 50 dogs at your house or 50 cats at your house, and I need a little bit of protection from my psyche. So you pull in and you don't let yourself feel. So there's a little bit of in between there where you need to protect yourself, but you also need to feel the compassion to help others if you're going to stay in the field. Next one. So what are Stella? Oh, that's Stella. Stella's one of my fosters. Stella is my very longest foster.
Is she
Here's
the
a
longest one?
quotation. I often wonder why I'm here. There really isn't much success with working with animals. The public is totally ignorant of the work we do and how much we want the best for the animals. I work so hard and things never get better. Loss after loss after loss leaves me empty and so sad. I didn't really say it, but I felt that. Some days I'm like, crap. This is Stella. Stella I have had for 2 years. She was a red dog. She came up. She was one of the very first dogs we ever got when we started the snurf. She came up big to crap. She was in a tribal holding pen. Someone had cut off her ears with a razor blade. She was 30 pounds underweight. Her fur was falling out. Her chest is embedded with BBs all over it. She actually, you could tell she'd been severely physically abused. It took us 8 or 9 months before we got her physically healthy enough to even put her up for adoption. During that time, Aubrey took her in to work with her for a little bit because sometimes we trade off dogs so we get things. And Austin, her husband, came out to poop scoop, and he walks out like this with a shovel, just like this, and had it up like this. And she ran around and bit him. She was protecting Aubrey. We tried repeatedly to replicate that kind of thing so we could work with it. It's never happened again, but she was terrified he was going to hurt Aubrey or hurt her and bit her. So we try and let people know, but she's been with us a long time because she has a bite history. She is so good with kids. She loves little kids. She wants to hang with them. She loves us, but she's got some little bit of behavioral things
She's a
at the
mouser
house.
too.
She's what?
A mouser too.
She catches mice. She's really good at catching mice. I love this dog, and we're working on. Yeah, she's fun. She now sleeps in bed with me. I don't let any of my fosters sleep in bed with me because then I get too attached to them. But she has moved up to the bed. If she got in a position where she was really happy at my house, I would keep her. But she's also the lowest dog on my totem pole, so they kind of pick on her a little bit, and I'd love for her to find a house. Things work through my brain, but that's Stella. Love Stella.
She's
such a
gone
good
out
girl.
a couple of times too to people's houses.
Yeah, she went out for adoption once. They loved her, but she's a high energy dog. She's boxer cross. And they were an older couple and just couldn't manage her. Good dog, though. She came out of the tribal holding pens. All right, so that's enough about Stella. Next slide. How do you manage? What are the causes? Putting the needs of others before your own. Providing service to with stress. With stress and work-related trauma, lack of personal or professional coping skills, lack of personal boundaries. Anyone have trouble with boundaries in this room? Pick me. An overdeveloped sense of responsibility. It all lays on me. Let me tell you straight up, though, the thing that I have loved the most about being part of this community is it doesn't all lay on me. We have a good group of people who all work together and try and make things better and help each other out. I love that it's not all on me. That's one of the areas that I know I'm not stuck. We're all out there working pretty good at these dogs. And cats. Practice of minimizing traumatic events or denial. Denying that I'm in charge of everything. Yeah. History of unresolved childhood trauma. But everybody's different, so everybody has trauma differently. So those are things that can cause compassion fatigue. Next one. Managing compassion fatigue. I'm just going to step back here and read because these are really good things. Ways to manage it. You accept. Anyone ever done a 4-step program? Al-Anon, Alateen. I was raised in that. My dad's an alcoholic. Grew up. Accept that your situation is stressful. So you have accepted that there's a problem. Creating a balance between work relations and me time. Yeah, I don't have me time. But that's important.
I didn't sleep during my.
Right, I sleep during my me time.
Your me time is in the McDonald's drive-thru.
Right, somebody told me the other day. Yeah, exactly. Talking to Julie on the phone about a transport. No, somebody said to me the other day, they said, I'm watching this really cool show on TV. I'm like, TV? What's that? I don't watch TV. They're like, well, what do you do for your downtime? I'm like, downtime? What's that even look like? I don't know what that looks like. But, occasionally I go out to the movies. I try and hit the gym 2 or 3 times a week, but, that's important to have. Building a healthy support system. Here's the thing about a healthy support system, though, that you really have to remember. You have to remember that it's support. It's people that help you. If your support system consists of people who are belittling you or saying, why do you put all this time into saving dogs? That's not a healthy support system. People who give you a reality check, that's great, but if they're tearing you down for what you find joy in, they're not your support system. They're your way above the top reality check. They're your mom, or your grandma, or your ex-husband. Practice authentic, sustainable self-care daily. Every day, find something that you do just for yourself. All right, now here I've been telling you all I don't do stuff for myself. I listen to audiobooks. I love to read. I never have time to read, but I found Audible, and I buy 1 book a month, and I well, right now I'm in the middle of a series with 12 or 15 books in it, and I'm buying a bunch of books. Practice self-compassion. How many times have you said to yourself, I wish I'd done that differently. I suck. This is not how it should have been. I do it all the time. I don't always mean it, because sometimes I'm trying to joke about it. But you gotta realize that we're all doing the best you can. Strengthen your coping skills. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Listen to others with detached compassion. You don't need to be their savior. That's not your job. You can listen to somebody and not feel like you have to be their savior. So that's detached compassion. Practice mindfulness on and off the job, and don't worry about the self-test. I don't have that on here, but you could look up the self-test and look at it if you want. Next, please. All right, simply put, we remain present, we practice mindfulness, we acknowledge we're making a difference. Every one of you in this room is making a difference. And I appreciate every single one of you for making that difference. I truly do. We travel the path while we let go. We don't have to be in charge of everything. And we promote positive self-talk. Next, please. All right, managing stress. Identify and label your sources of stress. Sometimes that's hard, The last 2 weeks I've been walking around, my jaw's tight, my back's tight. I just kind of had this low-grade headache. I'm like, crap, what is getting to me? Am I clenching my teeth? And no, you're organizing a conference. You've got your dogs, you've got everything else. You're a little stressed. But identify that, label it, make sure it has something. Accept what you cannot change. Everybody know the serenity prayer?
Say it.
Yeah. Accept the things you can't change. You can't change everything. It's okay. I strongly believe in a higher power, and I'll talk about that in a minute. He's got this. So learn to focus on what you can change. Back to the serenity prayer. If you can change it, take it. If you can't, someone else has got it. Learn to say no. Yeah. All right, we'll work on that one. That's a personal boundary I don't necessarily always have. Tighten your personal boundaries. This is a hard one for me because I was raised LDS, and LDS women always help everybody. It's indoctrinated, and I'm still LDS. I love the LDS religion. I love people. I love the culture. But I also realize that having to be there for every single person is impossible. We do the best we can, So I have a really hard time with boundaries. I am not your example, but what you need to do is look at your own boundaries and figure out where can you learn to say no? Where can you tighten in your boundaries? Is it saying, I can't help with the GI run this weekend because I'm going to take a nap? Nope. That's very rude. Is it saying, sorry, Michael, I can't help you with that. You're going to have to take Uber home because it's too late at 11 o'clock at night? Yep, it is. And he took an Uber home and he was fine. Actually, I picked him up, but he took the Uber the next morning. I'm okay at 11 at night, but 6 a.m., good grief. What the hell is that?
Too early
Practice.
is what it is.
Yeah, he took an Uber. It was good. I even offered to pay for it, but he caught it. Practice empathetic
$10.
discernment. Having empathy. Do we need to have empathy for everybody? We don't. Realize where you don't necessarily have to have that empathy, and it's okay. It is okay. One of my favorite things to do, this is not my bed, but I fell in love with this picture. Hop into bed. Last night I had 2 pugs, Stella, Hudson dog, who's you'll see a picture of him later. He's a pitty cross. And Frida, who's one of my hounds. We're all in bed with me. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dogs. I sleep in a twin bed.
Does that mean that you're keeping the pugs?
No, one's going up to
Yeah,
Montana
yeah.
tomorrow, and the other
cool.
one has an application.
Awesome.
Next one.
They probably just look too cute to not fit in the bed.
Aren't they? Well,
Well,
if
pugs
They were
are
an
such
exception
people.
to the
though.
rule.
okay, but here's the deal. If I put them in the crate, they cry all night.
Worse,
Like,
I know.
and if I leave them out running my house, they're too small for me to be sleep soundly because I'm afraid somebody will play too rough with them.
Tumble them around.
But my smallest dog at my house is 60 pounds. I never have pugs. I don't do small dogs. I don't know how these guys got to my house. Because I have poor boundaries. That's you know what? These guys are cute. All right. You know what, though? That's the funny thing is I actually kept these guys as fosters because I love them. They're cute. I like these pugs. So this was actually a self-indulgence offer. It's like, I can get them into another foster. I'm like, oh, hell no, they're cute. I'm having fun with them. So I kept them for me. Kind of weird. All right, next one. All right, on-the-spot self-care practices. I'm going to walk back here so I can read these because these are some kind of cool things. Breathe deeply. I don't know if you guys really have studied the art of breathing, but there's ways that if you just take a couple of seconds and you're stressed all the heck, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm standing behind you guys, you have to look at my butt. If you stop and you take a good deep breath, breathe in, breathe out, it does wonders. There's actually breathing techniques where you breathe in really slowly and you exhale really slowly, count of 3 to 5, and it changes your carbon dioxide level in your brain. It's actually a physical change that happens in your brain, and it helps with stress. And breathing is so amazing. If you just stop for a couple seconds when you're stressed and you're about ready to kill somebody, and you have to clean up the mess in the kitchen, and somebody took this outside, and you just go, okay, breathe. Everybody try it. Take a big, deep breath in. Kind of feel the tension start to leave a little bit. Laughter. I am all about laughter. Anyone who knows me knows that I was a class clown. That's how I dealt with my stress. That's how I dealt with things. I'm not so much a class clown anymore, but I think laughter is cleansing. It's good for you. Find humor. So imagine walking into a room and the dogs have gotten into the feather pillow and it's strung all over and somebody peed and there's a little bit of poop and everybody's caused mayhem and we're all screaming and it's time to do this. You're like, blah! So I was in that situation one day and I just looked at it and I started to laugh and everybody's like, what's so funny? I'm like, this is hilarious. I mean, this only happens on TV. This is a Lucille Ball show. I live this, Lucille Ball. They're like, but it made me feel so much better to just take a few seconds to laugh and realize that this was an absolutely absurd scene with feathers and gross. And then I heard a little voice inside my head. It wasn't inside my head. It was my grandma. My grandma came to see me, and she said, aren't you glad you don't have to put those bitched pillows together? And I'm like, oh, hell yeah! Can you imagine? All right, so that's laughter. Journaling. I don't journal, but I know people who find it really therapeutic. They sit down, and even if they write a couple sentences about what's really bugging them, it helps them get their feelings out. Take a brisk walk. So when we're stressed, we put out adrenaline, and adrenaline in large amounts is not a good thing, and it can take several days for that adrenaline to break down. The human body was designed to have all animals fight or flight, and when we're confronted with a situation, we get a huge adrenaline rush, and it goes flight, fight, or freeze, and we're all geared up to either fight because something horrible happened, or we're going to run. Our modern world doesn't require that of us. We walk into work and the boss says something and we run out the door because he sucks. No, we don't have a job. We pack in a lot of adrenaline, and one of the best ways to do that is to figure out a way to channel your flight technique. Taking a brisk walk is a good way to remove adrenaline out of your system. Even if it's with your dog that you're still trying to leash train. Take them out, go for a walk, get it. Stretching. Stretching feels good. It also helps maintain your stance. It helps remove adrenaline. It helps do a lot of things. Talking to a trusted friend. They talk about how men want solutions and women just want to be heard. Any sort of talking is good. Eat a nutritious snack. So today, I've eaten 1 fig bar. I had some really good lemon cake. My potato is sitting in a box waiting for dinner. But you know what? The fig bar was really good. It got me going again. Practice a letting go ritual. Does anyone know what a letting go ritual is? It's a way that each person develops for their own, that they let go of things. A death or a foster. You know what? I have fosters that Stella will be the death of me. I better find someone who's going to keep me in touch every single day. I had a foster that I worked with for over a year to get him into shape, Fabio. He is in the best home possible. I sobbed and sobbed and sobbed because I'd worked so hard on this dog. Developing letting go rituals, it can be writing things down, it can be writing a story, it can be saying goodbye, it can be taking pictures. Something that gives you an opportunity to let go and let go of your stress. Read a favorite quote or mission statement. If you'll notice on the program, I put a lot of quotations on there. I love quotations. They're wisdom in a nutshell. They're just, a couple seconds of something that makes you feel a little bit better. Listen to music. People love that. I don't listen to music because I have my audiobooks. I love them. Meditate, pray, practice mindfulness. We'll get up to that in a minute. We're skipping that test again, although you can take it. Next one. Mindfulness. Dog sits there, and if there's no mouse or squirrel running in front of him, he just sits there. He's enjoying the moment. He might have a little bit of energy getting it out. I sit there. I'm in the moment with my dog. I'm at the dog park, and I'm like, okay, I have this to do, and I've got that, and let me get my phone out and start this, and I need to email this person. Stop. Stop doing so much for part of the time of the day. Sit down. Enjoy the moment. How many of you guys ate that lemon cake today or the chocolate cake? Anyone eat cake today? How fast did you eat that?
Oh, I probably did in 3 bites.
Okay.
Like
Next time, take a bite. Feel it in your mouth. Feel the texture. Feel the taste. Take a minute and just enjoy that. Like a Linder ball where you get to feel the chocolate melt in your mouth and you get to feel the flavor hitting all the parts of your tongue that take a minute and be really mindful of a couple of bites. You don't have to eat your whole meal like that, but feel mindful of a couple of really good bites, because that was dang good cake, and I have a piece that's going home with me so I can be mindful with it later today. I'm excited about that. So practice mindfulness. Sit next to your dog and listen. What do you hear? They call it grounding. You stop and you feel your senses. What do I hear? I hear the hum of this. I hear papers rustling. I hear some quiet. And that grounds you. What do I smell? A clean room. Maybe some chocolate. What are you seeing? I'm seeing people who are actually listening to me. It's kind of different. I've got teenagers and young adults in my house. It's not something that happens a lot, but All right, next.
I might need more cake to perfect that.
Yeah,
Go
it takes
get
a minute.
cake.
Right
We
now.
We should get some
definitely
cake.
need
You know what,
that.
By the time I got there.
There's actually more desserts in there. They're really good. We've got desserts in the conference room that one of our volunteers brought them from Costco. So I want all of you to go find a dessert. I was told that the tiramisu was
Can we combine that with
divine.
the brisk walk?
What?
Can we combine that with the brisk walk?
Yeah, we could do that. Brisk walk and some mindful eating of dessert. Compassion.
I'll watch your dessert for you.
Right? Compassion, satisfaction. You guys, we're making a difference. One of the things that helps with compassion fatigue is being satisfied with what you are doing and how you're doing it. Sometimes I sit there and I'm like, gosh dang, I should have done this different and this different and this different. But you know what? If I look around my house, I see 15 foster animals that I've saved their lives. And I'm making a difference in their life. And they're here because I stepped up to the plate and managed it. And I'm taking care of it. And I'm really happy I'm able to do that. Living the mission of the organization, make your own personal mission statement. My mission statement is, here I am, I'm standing in the back and we're recording this. All right, let me get back up here.
Yeah, I bet they can hear you good.
Sorry, Michael, thanks for reminding me to come up. Living the mission of the organization. It's really good to have your own personal mission statements. Find something that makes your heart happy. One of our mission statements at SNARP that we came up with last year that I've kind of tried to make part of my personal mission statement is positively changing lives. Every freaking day I do something that positively changes a life, and that helps me with my personal satisfaction. That helps me appreciate where I am. Carrying on the legacy of your organization or what you're doing, or something that your grandparents taught you, or something your friends taught you, or your mother taught you to clean the kitchen properly. Get some satisfaction in knowing that you're carrying on that legacy of helping people, helping animals, and being there for them. And work together with dedicated colleagues. This conference, one of the things that I really strived for with this conference was to give us a chance to come together with like-minded people and enjoy each other's presence and enjoy the companionship. We have pizza afterwards, where it's an after-party dinner. You guys are all welcome to come. I have a room reserved. Come and be friends and meet people and eat. So if you're not pizza, it's good pizza, pasta, salad, and gives you a chance to hang with your colleagues. Next one.
Park Center.
What?
I said on Park Center.
On Park Center. All right, one of the weapons we have against compassion fatigue is the satisfaction we get from our work. She looks happy. Yeah, she's got a hound and she still looks happy. I have 3 hounds.
The battle is real. I
Yeah,
have two.
I have 3 hounds right now, 2 of my own, and I have 1 foster. I love them, they're fun. Hounds are fun, but they're loud. They're a lot of fun. We got one that we got rescued off the reservation. He was gonna, he had been bred, he and his siblings and his mom and dad, and then the owner was like, I'm done, and just turfed him out. I got a phone call and they're like, we got 5 dogs and they're starving to death. All right, because my specialty is res dogs. I will do anything I can to save a res dog because res dogs are not humanely euthanized. They suffer before they finally go. So that's one of the areas I know I'm making a difference. Even if I bring it up here and I ultimately have to do something because they're in such bad shape, I've given them a chance to get out of that horrific situation. Anyway, he's come up. He's had some health issues because of his malnutrition. Lake Lowell took 2 of them. We took mom and dad, found places for mom and dad, and have one of the dogs. And he is such a good hound. Anyway, there's my tangent about the hound. He comes up to me, looks at me with these lovely eyes. He's a year old, and he's like rubs up against me, and he's just grateful to be with me. Nobody's grateful to be with me anymore except my dogs. All right, next one, Michael. Oh, back one.
Oh.
You skipped one. All right.
Sorry.
Yep. An important question. Big Panda and Tiny Dragon. Which is more important, asked Big Panda? The journey or the destination? Tiny Dragon says it's the company. One of my very favorite quotations, here's it in a nutshell, is by a gentleman who I don't agree with all of his teachings, but I love this quotation. His name's Ram Dass, and he's a spiritual guru. And he says, we're all just walking each other home. We are all just on a journey walking each other home, and we should be helping each other and enjoy the company. Next. All right, supporting your colleagues. Ways to support your colleagues. You want to listen effectively. That doesn't mean you're taking their problems on, but you're there just to listen to them. Avoid slimming. Slimming is like making things smaller than they are. Let them have their authentic feelings. Let them experience it. Don't say, oh, it's not that bad. You know what? It's a big thing for them. Just listen to them. They don't need you to fix it. They just want you to listen. Protect yourself from emotional vampires. I have a couple people who come, and every time that they talk to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, go away. But that's not most of them. Most of them are give back as much as they take. I try.
Describe an emotional vampire.
An emotional vampire is someone who's always coming to you with issues and problems, and they want to win, but they don't want to really fix their problem. They just want to complain and it brings me down after a while. Something that brings you down and continual negative emotions without positive, anything that sucks your emotional life out. And it can be something simple like, I just don't get along with this person, they suck my life out. Don't associate with them. You know, if you don't have to. Yes, we all have to associate with people we don't love to death. Don't make them be your BFF and go out to pizza with them every night. You know, deal with them how you have to and go on with life. So kind of avoid those. Anyone sucking life out. Be inclusive. One of the cool things about being inclusive is you get people who are not from your background, and you learn new things, and you get to try new things, and you get a whole different audience to listen to your dog stories. So that's always important. Share your knowledge. Actually, this is my hound. That's Corduroy. That's my hound, Foster. He's such a sweetheart. Share your knowledge. I love sharing knowledge. I probably overshare. Heck, I have to have a whole conference just to share my knowledge. So, and all of you came to listen. Be mindful. We talked again about mindfulness. It makes a big difference taking time out to give your brain that break. Let your adrenaline go down and just concentrate on how good the tiramisu is. That's next. Practice psychological first aid. If you have been in a situation that is extremely traumatic and it's overwhelming, do something about it. Don't let it fester. Don't let it swell up. Don't let it make your life hell. Call your mom. Call your friend. Journal. Take deep breaths. Do things to help yourself. Don't let it build, because if you let things build and you let it layer on top of each other, that's when we start seeing the physical ailments and the problems that we have. So when things happen, get the first aid and get yourself on the path to healing. Next, please. Psychological first aid. Hey, are you okay? Not really. You want to talk about it? I don't. What's he do? He just sits down there and he's there for the moment. He just hangs out. That's what I like about my dogs. One of my favorite things about my dogs. They're right there to put their paw in my hand kind of thing. Yeah, they want me to throw a ball while they're doing it. But they're there for me. They love me. They want to experience my life. I mean, really, we're our dog's whole world. Our cats sometimes whole world. Cats aren't quite the same as dogs. That's all I got to say about it. I have many cats. I have many dogs. I can speak authoritatively on this subject. Get your dog. If you only have cats, you're missing out. All right, next slide, please. Oh, stress in animal welfare.
No.
All right, the jobs take a high level of aptitude. It took a long time to learn how to work with behavior problem dogs for me. You know, it's a specialization. There's a huge level of responsibility. Somebody's life depends on you. There's no room for mistakes. There's a little bit of room. I make mistakes all the time. Cut yourself some slack and know that this is not really it.
It feels that way.
Sometimes it feels that way. You know what? I didn't give them the treat properly, and they just learned how to shake and still sit.
That's one of the things I talked about was forgive yourself.
Yeah, forgive yourself.
So the dog won that kind of fun.
Yep. All right, so does anybody know what professions have some of the highest suicide rates in America? Veterinarians, surgeons, veterinarians, EMTs, animal caregivers are way up there because they take it in, they internalize and they don't send it out. So seek help. There are all sorts of crisis lines you can call. There's employee assistance programs. There are people out there who will talk to you. Don't let unsuccessful outcomes worry about poor public opinion. You know what? All right, so my son's learning to drive stick shift, and he's having trouble with it, and he's sitting there crying in the car as we're trying to make a left-hand turn, and he can't make the car go forward. He's like, the guy behind me.
I know.
Other son, Marcus.
I was not crying in the car.
And he's sitting there, and then he starts to cry, and I said, what are you crying about? He goes, they're mad at me, and I said, F them. That's not the word I used, but that's the general idea. F them. Who the hell cares what they think about you? F them all. And truthfully, as I've gotten older, and I'm old, 55, I have developed, I used to care what people thought of me, and I still do to a certain degree. I'm not going to say I don't care what people think of me. I want people to think good of me. They don't. It's not the end of my world. F them. F them all. So sometimes that's helpful to just kind of let it go. Unsuccessful things happen. We have long hours, lots of demand. Our clients, our pets, they have some demands. Chronic emotional trauma, looking on Facebook, seeing all the dogs that need rescue or cats that need rescue right now. There's a bunch of cats out there on the res that need some help. Knowing that if I don't do it or I don't do their transport, they're not going to make it out. So can cause some demand. That goes with the chronic emotional trauma as well. There's lots of rules and regulations. I try not to worry about that too much, but there's a lot of them if you're a shelter worker. There's a lot of things you have to pay attention to. It can be a severe workload. At the end of the day, I come home, everybody still needs fed, everybody still needs water, they all need some playtime, they all want to see me, they are glad I'm there. But geez, it's 9 o'clock at night, I want to go to bed. I have to be back up at 6. In the industry, there's shortness of staff, job burnout, and then there's the moral and ethical dilemmas. We all face moral and ethical dilemmas. For me, it circles around whether or not I'm going to save an animal or get them out of a bad situation. Do I have room in my house to take somebody else in? Do I, for cats and dogs, do I spay them and they're pregnant? That's a moral and ethical dilemma that a lot of us have.
Can I interject?
Yes.
Is there anybody in this room who can do euthanasia? Is there anyone?
Anyone certified?
Just you?
Wait, what?
Do you do euthanasia? Are you guys certified?
You
for
can do
euthanasia?
that?
Yeah, it's a whole course. You get
Yeah, it's
certified
a thing.
for. People
Really?
who work
The
at
reason-
shelters get certified to do euthanasia. Can you
The
even
reason I'm
imagine?
asking specifically is because there is also a lot of this, and then there's
Right.
the people that really do take on that burden
I can't even
and
imagine.
protect people from it, quite frankly.
They do.
And I gotta be honest, I know for Pet Haven, it's me and my co-manager who can do it.
Mhm.
I still have the hardest time because
Right.
I know when I'm going in there, I'm I'm gonna need 2 hours to cry this out real quick. And so it just destroys you, and then your whole week is
Taking.
sad.
I have a senior who's 11 years old. She has bone cancer. She's starting to fail. Just the thought of putting my personal animal down to get her out of my misery kills me. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and
Being
you
the
do
one
it because
who-
it's the correct thing to do
It's
for
what needs to
suffering
be done.
purposes, but it's still hard.
It's really hard.
awful.
It's really, really hard.
And there's so few people, even around us, clearly that really understand that level. And so it's just an extra battlefield. And I feel I spend a lot of time in my job protecting people from that.
Right.
And
You do.
so it's incredibly difficult.
You do. It's really hard, and that's something you need to take some extra time
Yeah.
out.
And I just wanted to bring
and
awareness
cope
to
with
that.
Yeah.
The people who do have to do that. It's
I didn't concentrate on it as much because there aren't so many.
Yeah.
That's
why I was wondering. I was
huge.
okay.
You're the only one in here who is certified.
May I ask you a question about that?
She's certified too.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're certified?
Yeah, I'm a CBT as well.
If you have multiples that you have to do in a day, is it?
Oh,
Diet Coke
he's gone.
He gets what I have.
But yes.
Do you find it easier for yourself if you do say you have 5 dogs that you have to euthanize that day.
Sure, figure
Do you find it easier to do them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as fast as you can, get through it, and then mourn them, or do you need to take time for each one individually?
I don't have the luxury of being able to plan that necessarily. It's whatever walks through the door,
Right.
generally speaking.
So that's out of your hands.
Yeah, so I'll be like, I'm good for the day. I cried my 2 hours, and it could be 10 minutes later, and I'm like, oh,
Which
okay.
would you prefer?
Not
It
to have to do
depends.
it at all.
So
Well,
I have the luxury, I guess, of having another person in my facility who we can trade off,
Okay.
especially if one of us is like feeling particularly sensitive. I have that luxury. If I had to do multiple, I would probably do them all in a row. Like I have had to do sad things to litters of kittens all at the same time, and it's awful. And it's kitten season, so a lot of those walk in the door.
I absolutely feel for you, and
Yeah.
I have the greatest respect for what you do. I do not think I could do your job, and I do hard things, but I do not think I could do that one.
I literally only
it's
can do it, and again, we're talking about compassion because I know I'm making a difference,
And you
right?
are.
And that's
Well,
it.
Making a difference.
And this is, and what she's bringing up too, I am really good at bottle feeding kittens. I don't do it anymore because it kills me. It freaking kills me to get attached to these kittens. A, I don't get enough sleep as it is. But B, thank you, Michael. But B, if I don't get them fed right and I don't get them taken care of right, and we've got, most of the time it's something outside my ability to control, but I've got a litter of 6 or 7 kittens that are just totally relying on me, and half of them die. I used to sit there and sob at night holding kittens as they died in my arms. You know, it's horrible. It's horrible. And there's nothing you can do about it, and you've done the right thing, and you've done everything you can do, and it just kills you.
And I'm sure in your position too, if you have people doing that, like as fosters, and it happens to them, you have to walk them through that
Mhm.
process too.
I do. I spend a lot of time on the phone with in fact, the last month and a half, I've gotten phone calls almost every night from somebody.
Is Pet Haven a rescue or a clinic?
Pet Haven is a shelter.
It's a shelter, okay.
I want you to know, when you take those calls and you make those hard decisions, I'm taking the other 40
Hit the
calls.
next one.
When you make that decision and that one leaves here, that allows me to help one that's healthy. I would not get help
Right.
if the one that was sick stayed in Ada Apollo's
I
resources.
absolutely.
Is that fair?
Yep.
No, but I can save a lot more cats for $10,000 and put it in one cat. So your misery lets me help.
Yeah. I mean, my motto, now that we're talking about mottos, is what I'm doing directly maximizing the amount of lives I can save.
That's exactly what it is.
So
Well, not
whatever
only
that
that, but
means for
it's-
that day for
Is it
me.
ending the suffering?
Yeah.
You know, you're not out there euthanizing just to euthanize.
Yeah.
No,
You're helping to alleviate suffering.
But yeah, but that's like the center of my operations. Like certainly I don't have to do this for a living.
No, you do not.
Are there
God
any
bless you.
protocols for after you're euthanizing that like the shelter has in place for you to recover mentally?
The policy is I'm telling people I'm leaving for 2
Yeah.
hours to cry it out, and everybody knows. They're just like, just let her go cry it out, and that's just like my team is very small. We're like 5
Sure.
people, and so like being able to have boundaries and needs and expressing them is super easy where I am, thankfully.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not the one actually euthanizing necessarily, but I'm always there when I've made that decision that it needs to be done, and it kicks my ass.
that,
It really does. It kicks my
I
ass.
never have my people do it without me there. And I never make them stay.
Yeah.
They have a choice to stay or not, but I always stay.
Yeah, if I fail on a behavior case and we have to recommend euthanasia, I'm wrecked. I'm absolutely wrecked from the moment I drop that animal off.
Yeah, I can't even imagine being the one doing it, but at the same time, I'm so grateful that somebody's there to hold my hand a little bit and help me out with it. You're a godsend. I mean, really, you are.
Woo!
You're a godsend. Because, yeah. All right, and on that, self-care on the job. Spend time identifying what would help.
Yeah.
Talk to your management about your concerns and communicate effectively. Use your on-the-spot coping skills. Take some deep breaths. Be mindful. Remember your motto. We all have these things that are stressful for us. Remember these things. I'm not talking just to you. I'm not trying to lecture you.
That's fine.
Take breaks. Eat lunches away. Go have your 2 hours. If that's what you need, do it. Because otherwise you're going to burn out. And that's...
I'm not already there. Thanks, Gwen.
No, call me. Remind yourself of your mission statement. And spend as much time with the healthy animals as you possibly can. And this is something really important. Ask for help. We're not all powerful. Help. Ask for help. Michael, next slide, please. Ask for help. You can't do everything yourself. This kitten, the look on his face, I was just like, crap. Yep, that's somebody who's like, help me. So that was asking for help. Next one, please. Again, I'm going to go over some coping strategies. Except your situation is stressful. It's okay to say, yeah, this sucks. It's stressful. Share your feelings with a friend or a relative. Acknowledge others who are feeling the same. Enhance your communication skills. Learn to talk about it. Learn to journal. Learn to shout out to the universe. Have a chat with your higher power. Initiate positive action to change your situation. What is positive for you? Going and playing with the kittens afterwards? Going out to cry it out? Look at something that's positive. Take care of your personal needs first. Everybody needs exercise. Everybody needs tiramisu. Everybody needs lemon cake. Check on your personal needs, though. If you're not getting enough sleep, stressful situations are only worse when you're running on 4 hours of sleep. So if you are like me and you finally get to bed at 11:30 at night and you're getting up at 6 in the morning, the day is going to be a lot more crappy than if you got 8 hours of sleep. It just is. So take care of your sleep, Jane. Take care of your personal health. Take time away from the stressful situations. Walk out. Go for a walk. Get out of there. Go for a couple hours. Allow others to help. There's professionals out there. There is absolutely nothing wrong with getting a counselor. Go get a counselor. Go to employee assistance programs. Counselors are there. When I was doing my substance abuse counseling education in health science on my master's degree, one of our teachers was a counselor, and he walked in and he said, I have never had a client walk in and say to me, my life's really pretty good. I really have a pretty good life, but I want to learn how to optimize my life. And that's why I'm here, because I want you to teach me how to optimize my life. No, you're right. You go there when you need help. It's not just optimizing your life. It's you need help. It's like, one day I just want somebody to walk in and say that. They're there to help you. Nothing wrong with optimizing your life. Take ownership of your personality traits. Remember that Gwen has ADHD and she's a little bit OCD and she's just a little bit over the top sometimes. Stubborn and loud. All right, that's me. And Michael's smiling. He's like, yeah, keep going, Mom. You got it. Next. She's a yeller, too. The eyebrow raise. All right, starfish story. Anyone not heard the starfish story? You've never heard the starfish story? What have I done wrong?
Maybe you told me I forgot.
All right, so let me read it to you then.
But no one else raised that.
An old man was walking on the beach one morning after a storm. In the distance, he could see someone moving like a dancer. As he came closer, he saw that it was a young woman picking up starfish and gently throwing them back into the ocean. Young lady, why are you throwing starfish into the ocean? The sun is up and the tide is going out, and if I do not throw them in, they will die. But young lady, do you not realize that there are many miles of beach and thousands of starfish? You cannot possibly make a difference. The young woman listened politely, then bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it into the ocean. It made a difference for that one, she said. We're all making a difference. We can't save them all right this second. That's my goal eventually. But we're making a difference for many, many lives. Next one. All right, so this is what I added to this slide because it wasn't on here. And this is something that I think is really important, is that you need to develop a relationship with your higher power. I am a very firm believer that there's a higher power out there. Most people believe in some sort of supreme being. Not everybody calls him God. In my circles, in my family, we talk about the universe. The universe is out there, the universe is the universe out. I am a big, firm believer that not only is there a God, but there's also kind of a universe that helps us out. Except that you're not in charge. None of you guys are in charge. I don't know what anybody's views on a higher power is, and I do not mean to offend, but I had a friend whose higher power was the tree in their backyard. They would go out and they would talk to the tree, and they'd say, you know what, I can't handle this. It gives you a place to hand off your burdens that you really aren't in charge of to that higher power. Here, take it to the pine tree in your backyard. You know what they say about the agnostic insomniac? He lies awake at night and dreams and wonders if there's a dog. Oh, dyslexic agnostic insomniac lies awake at night and wonders if there's a dog. So, all right, there you go. Internalize that the universe is going to help you guys as much as they can. When I put it out to the universe that I need help and that there's something that I need, it may not be that minute, it may not be that week, but eventually I get help. Putting Snarf together and getting it up and going, there were so many things I needed help with. And I just said, you know what? I don't know what to do, but this is what I need. And pretty soon Danielle would call and say, hey, we need somebody to come for Courtney Fest and be a recipient of our grant. How'd you know that we needed to, plant, Or someone called me up and say, hey, I want to be a foster. I can take some bottle-fed kittens. Heck yeah, thank you. The universe is there. We are watched over. This is something I very strongly believe in. Understand truly that there's a next step in life. This last month, I had to have multiple conversations with people. There are a lot of people out there that believe that the human soul goes on, but they don't believe that animal souls go on. And I'm here to tell you, in my experience, I have met those animal souls after they've left their bodies and they've come and chatted with me and they've made their presence known to me. So I know they're there. Seek help from people who can help you. Woo, we lost it. Did you get it? Counselors. Uh-oh. Your higher power, you can talk to him. Here's some good reads. I had, if you have a question about whether or not there's an afterlife, here are some excellent reads. The Art of Racing the Rain. Book's way better.
Is it?
Way better. Get it on audiobook, listen to it. Life After Life.
So good.
Fabulous. Embraced by the Light. It talks about near-death experiences, and they're on your PowerPoint right here. The Amazing Afterlife of Animals. Talks about people who've had afterlife experiences with their animals. The Soul of Your Pet. The Incredible Animal Afterlife book, and Evidence of Animal Afterlife, the book. This isn't the end. We're not done here. This is just the next step in our journey. We're all walking each other home because we've got another step. It goes for my dog, goes for my cat, goes for my horse, goes for the bunny. We all have souls, and we go on. I had a dog. I'm in a ball again. Her name was Dodger, and somewhere there's a handout about Dodger.
Yep.
All right, this is the Dodger story. My mom wrote this story. Everybody get one? If you didn't get one, it's kind of a fun story. She wrote this. My mom's a writer. She does stuff. Dodger was one of my dogs that we found her mom at the side of the road in between Blackfoot and Pocatello. We loaded her up, and she never got adopted. And she was one of the puppies. This mom was very pregnant, delivered like 2 days later, and this puppy just never got adopted. And her name was Dodger. And she wasn't Dodger because we loved the Artful Dodger. She was a Dodger because she could run her butt off and you couldn't catch her. And if you chased her, she ran further. But if you ran away back the other way, she'd run away. She'd come back to you. And we could often be heard walking down the street yelling, Dodger, you bitch, get back here! So that was her name, Dodger. And one day, one of our directors of the humane organization that I left and started another group because I couldn't handle some of their policies, said, Dodger's been with us for about 1.5 years. Totally healthy dog, totally loving dog. She's never going to get adopted. Let's go put her down. Dodger never showed back up at the adoption center. Dodger moved in with me, and she became one of my buddies. And one day somebody asked where Dodger was. I'm like, no. Dodger became one of my dogs, and I let, everybody knew where she was, but we didn't let anyone know that she was in a position where they could do anything harmful to her, because I love this dog. She's a good dog. We had her for many, many years, and she moved with us to Boise, and one day she just came down with these weird symptoms, and we didn't know what was wrong, and the doctor went in and she did an ultrasound, and she said, something's kind of weird internally, I'm going to do exploratory and see if I can fix it. And I'm like, okay. And she calls me, she goes, Gwen, she's got a hemangioma on her spleen, and it's bleeding out, and if I were to do surgery, she'd bleed to death without multiple donations. She said the best thing you can do is put her down. So, this is one of my dogs before I had kids, so this was one of my kids. I said, okay. And about an hour later, my mom called me and she said, what's going on with Dodger? I said, what do you mean what's going on with Dodger? She goes, she just came and got in my car. Like, what do you mean? She goes, I was driving down thinking about your situation. She was having surgery, and she showed up in my car and she said, it's okay, I'm going on. She goes, I said, oh, I hadn't called you yet, but we had to have her put down. And my mom's like, that's what I thought happened, because she came to see me. My mom is extremely perceptive of spirits, and when she's also 77, and she's ready to go on. She's like, I'm ready to go. So she's a little quicker to be able to cope with you putting animals down when they're in pain and they're having issues, because she knows they go on. And she's like, it's not the end, Gwen. So when I'm tempted to pull 15 more dogs because I know something horrible is going to happen to them, she says, it's not horrible. Hell, Gwen, they're going on to a better life. They're doing better. So she helps keep me grounded. And that's one of the ways I cope with this. For me personally, that's something that helps me cope. So I highly recommend these books. Read this story. My mom wrote it. It's really kind of fun. Next screen, please. I love these. These remind me that we're not done here. We are not done here. We get to go on, and we get to have our next slide. Next screen, please. Grief and loss on the job. Sorry, I'm going to run out of time. This is a lot. Hold debriefings at work. Chat about what's going on. Talk about things. You're not alone. Take the time you need to grieve. There is no time limit on grief. Dodger has been gone since before Michael was born. I was pregnant with him at the time, 22 years ago, and I still grieve. So there's no time limit on grief. When you are ready, fill your loss with something nurturing. Create a memorial, or do something else for a memory. We have a ritual in our house that whenever we have pets that have to be euthanized, we do paw prints, tape fur, and since I had kids, I used to send them up to the Christmas tree farm outside of Donley. But now we bring them home in their ashes, which I could build a wall. Because dogs get older and cats get older, and we have several urns, but create a ritual. All right, next one. Steps to healthy caregiving. Oh, right. A measurable goal. Start taking care of yourself today. Pick one thing. You guys have heard of SMART goals? Sustainable, measurable, something, something, something. Anyway, the idea is that you pick something that you can measure and watch the progress on. I'm going to go to the gym 3 times this week and walk on a treadmill for 5 minutes. Pick something that helps. Make a self-plan. Pick one area of your life, spiritual, intellectual. Don't make some big game plan to do 100 things to make your life better. Pick one thing, maybe 2. I'm going to eat less fried food, and I'm going to read a book. Okay, do it. How are you going to measure that? Well, every night I'm going to take 15 minutes to read a book. Okay, great. Find a way to do that. Next. Let's see. I'm going to go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 45 minutes. No, 20. That's all I get. Take a nutrition class. I'll lose 10 pounds. I hated that one, but it was already on there, so don't worry about losing weight, please. Get healthier. That's your goal. Next, please. Build resiliency. Figure out how to cultivate compassion for others. Improve your coping skills. These are all areas that you can make your goals in. Support your colleagues. I'm gonna talk to one friend about something. Manage change, but really, again, pick one or two things. No more than that. 21 days to build a new habit. Get rid of an old habit, replace it with a new habit. Next one. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Talked about all of that. Go on. That's a dog that's available for adoption somewhere.
I thought he was familiar.
Yep. Dog from Henry James. 3 things in human life that are important. The first is to be kind. The second is to be kind. And the third is to be kind. Drives me insane when I hear people just being really rude. There's no call for that. Don't like it, walk away. Be kind. Please be kind to each other. I had somebody tell me that my pet condom idea was the dumbest thing they'd ever heard of in the world. Coming from the source, I didn't care. I knew the source. It was the
My
thing.
team thinks you should go
It
and
is
get in contact with
genius.
actual.
I didn't care. I didn't care.
And then print them on there.
Right. I didn't care. I knew the source, and I was okay. But be kind. Let's be kind. These are 2 dogs in the tribal holding pens right now. If anyone's looking to pull, just saying. All right, next one. What kindness does it look like? The beatings will continue until morale improves. No. One of my favorite sayings again, spay or neuter your pets. There are enough bitches in rescue.
Yeah.
We don't need to be that. I grew up with that. That's the rescue I grew up with. I don't want that anymore. I want the culture changed. And I see it changing. I really do see it changing. We all work together. We're all friends. We're working together. We don't have to agree on everything, but we can be kind to each other. Last slide. Here are some other resources and your books. You'll be amazed at some of those books, especially the pet books. They are very highly rated and very highly thought of. And you guys have questions in brief that I can answer since we're at the end of our time? I finished it with 1 minute over. Anyone?
I do.
Yes.
The reservations, I know this is off topic. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that's completely new to me.
I work with a gal, her name's Brooke, and she's in southern Utah, and she's just outside of Vernal Roosevelt area. And she is a fish and game wildlife person who hired on with the tribal group, and when she got there, she said, oh my gosh, this is different. They have a lot of community dogs. They run a lot. They're not as well taken care
There's
of.
no fences.
There's no fences. They don't spay and neuter their pets like they should, and when they go, they die. Really rough lives. It's rough. It's a rough world that these guys go through. Starvation, hit by cars, porcupine quills, leg traps. I have 3 dogs. We have 3 dogs in our rescue that we hold because they got caught in a leg hold trap and had to have amputations. Ours didn't. Those were pulled by other rescues, but we took part of it back.
The feral problem gets so bad on some of those reservations, they have to
Very
just
bad.
shoot them.
Very
The
bad.
kids have to ride their bikes with baseball bats.
Mhm.
It's an issue in Montana too. I mean,
So she is the reason I got into this group of rescuing, because I took some under-socialized ones and socialized them, and a friend of mine adopted them, and I called her and like, what can I do to help? And she said, well, we need food. Well, I can do food. Food's good. So I started doing that and transport and gathering up. When the tribal people get called, they'll go and gather up the animals, and they put them in these cages. They have 4 or 5 cages. When they get full, if they're not pulled by rescue, they take them out. There's a spot they go, which is right on the edge of the cliff. They shoot them all and push them over the edge to dispose of the bodies. I do a lot of my rescue off the reservation because I know the animals are euthanized, but I also know they have an afterlife, and if they have a chance to have a humane euthanasia, God bless you. I'm not okay with it, but I feel better about it than knowing I could have pulled a dog that was going to starve to death or have its leg taken off. That's my specialty. That's a lot. Probably half of our animals come from the tribal area.
Do they call you or you go in there? How does that work?
She posts them on the Idaho page, and I watch for them, and I help her pull them out of them. Yeah,
Some of the best dogs have come
They're
out.
fabulous. Oh
And
my
they're
gosh, I love
squish
these dogs.
puppies.
Uh-huh.
I love the
Tons of
squish
puppies that
puppies.
show up, tons of abandoned. Are you on the Idaho rescue page?
Mhm.
Look up Brooke Cox Watts. And she rescues dogs and cats off of there, and they are the area that I personally choose to pull, because I know that not only am I helping avoid euthanasia, but I'm helping avoid suffering.
Would you be okay if I pass your information along to a Duck Valley contact?
Duck Valley's got a big thing. IHS does a lot with Duck
So they don't
Valley.
do much there anymore.
They're not?
My
This-
understanding is that there was a tribal they took over.
Uh-huh.
Because I helped implement the IHS program. I brought all the leaders to the table and I got that rolling. I actually rescued a family of 7 dogs from there a long time ago. But I don't think that do you work for IHS? Or
I do.
alongside them? Do they still go down there often?
Yeah.
Okay,
I was gonna
good.
say,
I'm
you're
glad
quite a
to,
bit
I'm
there
glad
still.
to hear that.
They still kind of,
Yeah,
we
we
literally show up with a van.
Yeah, they do quite a bit there still.
Everybody comes and we vaccinate and spay and neuter, we take them all back.
Because there was a point where they had a mobile, I think IHS's spay and neuter trailer was pulled down there at one point, but they couldn't get anybody to staff it. And it was also unsafe to leave the
If you
trailer
guys need
there.
help staffing, you call me. I'll go down to Duck Valley.
It it got to be a safety issue.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So, yeah, I mean, you're welcome to give them to me
So
when
you guys still pull them, spay and neuter them and send them back? Okay, great.
Yeah, I
I'm
just
glad
have,
to hear
like,
that.
Purebred French bulldogs, purebred. You see
Yeah,
where the
there's tons, it's kind of funny because down at the Uinta reservation, they get some decent money because they're on tribal, their lands on oil, but they still don't get them all fixed, and there's a lot running loose. Idaho Humane Society, I love Idaho Humane Society. They've done so many good things for spay neuter here that we're able to take animals from other places. And I help with spay neuter here, and we do that, but we also do massive fundraisers to help get animals spayed in the Vernal Roosevelt area. Because if I can get those animals spayed, then I don't have to feel like I'm neglecting dogs that are not going to be cared for, and they're going to have hell lives and die.
I forgot to tell you, so my friend is the county librarian for Uinta County. She wants me to do an adoption event in Vernal. And I was thinking we could also do the condom thing.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
And
Yeah,
like-
Brooke wants to do that too. Yeah, check out Brooke Cox Watts.
So should I reach out to her? I've never done anything like that.
Yeah,
so
let's- I'll reach out
I
to
literally
her.
have no idea.
Brooke runs 100 miles an hour. She's like me. She gets no sleep. Has no life. I called her the other day and she was at the movies and I was like,
Good for you.
right, exactly. So, yeah, check out Brooke Cox Watts. She's got several right now that need some help.
I mean, I don't. I'm not
She has them all the
But
time. And Kitty, she's got some kitties right now too that I will probably be coming to voice. So, yeah, Duck Valley, giving them my information and shall we talk to her? You can't get over this. That's my passion. Yes, it's sad when animals are dismissed, but it's even sadder to me when they. Yeah. It kills me. It freaking kills me. I know what's in store for them. I watch them walk around with porcupine quills poking out of their face. All right, Brooke, how much money do you need this week?
She would organize a spay neuter.
Yep.
And it's pays out of pocket, so you're sending.
Yeah.
She
It's
relies on
amazing.
donations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
this
amazing.
one was.
Yeah,
I have compassion fatigue from this.
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
You get that
we
recession.
actually raised $5,000
Well, pharmaceutical heal
about
yourself
4
with
months
this,
ago to help her with some spay.
Yeah, that's good.
That made me super happy.
So good.
Mhm. Yep, Nuzzles was doing that. All right, it's 5. Let's go close this down.
Okay.
Woo-hoo, thanks, guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, guys. Good job, Mom. I'm sorry I feel too.
Yeah, if you didn't get the Dodger story, take the Dodger story. It's one of my favorites.
Do you know where your other headset is?
Oh, I took one in there for Julie to use.
Okay, see, I can't find it. You got
Yeah,
your,
it is in the
you have your wired one here, but
Yep.
she's
Okay, I'm taking this one.
and stuff, and so she's.
No, if you could help me figure out.
She's like,
She really likes it, yeah, she doesn't use up all of it. And then
She's
I'm gonna come back and get all my stuff.
Like all
So, oh.